This game review in Wired magazine might be one of the worst game reviews I have ever read. And make sure you watch to the end where the reviewer said that gay people are more creative than straight people. The review starts out with a note about how anything related to Harry Potter is directly related to J.K. Rowling. The reviewer says this is important because she's always been inseparable from her work and from work that she's inspired, for better and now mostly for worse. Nothing with a Wizarding World stamp on it can be viewed outside the context of it being a product of J.K. Rowling. This isn't a great start to the review because the Hogwarts Legacy website directly speaks on this issue. J.K. Rowling was not involved in the creation of the game. This is not a new story from J.K. Rowling. However, we have collaborated closely with her team on all aspects of the game to ensure it remains in line with the magical experiences fans expect. So from this quote, it sounds like J.K. Rowling really had no direct engagement with the game, but instead her team was referenced to just make sure that the lore was accurate. The reviewer then goes on to detail their specific history with the Harry Potter books, which other than a couple Easter eggs aren't really important in the game at all, but that doesn't stop the reviewer from spending 500 words of a 1600 word review on the books. Eventually, the reviewer does get into one aspect of the game, which is the story. They said it feels muddy, a minefield of unanswered questions and unexplained motivations. And speaking of which, the characters often flat out state their motivations, but they don't feel believable or particularly coherent. I kind of agree with this because I felt that the story was one of the weakest parts of the game. It didn't really make me feel super invested, and a lot of the student characters didn't have a whole lot of depth to them, but I thought the professors were really cool characters. But after one little paragraph talking about one aspect of the game, they stopped talking about the game again. So there's no mention of combat, there's no mention of enemies, there's no mention of the room of requirement or any of the mini games. They just state they don't like the story and then jump into one of the worst pieces of reviewing I have ever seen. This part just triggered me, dude. This is just okay, look, this paragraph, all right? Look, everybody knows that I am pro LGBTQIA+. I am absolutely pro. I have 2 siblings that fall into that category. I fall into the ally category, all right? Anyways, there's a direct correlation between how open Rowling has become about her bigotry and how flat and heartless Wizarding World media becomes. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's because LGBTQIA+ people and genuine allies are some of the best creative minds in the world, and these films and this game were made largely without them. You're making a review. Obviously, some subjective opinions are going to be included, but when they're not about the gameplay, they're about how you think gay people are more creative than straight people. Who let you write a review about a video game? Gay people are more creative than straight people? The kind of creativity doesn't have to do with your sexual orientation? What? I mean, unless you're bi, because that's pretty creative to be like, you know what? I'm gonna sleep with anybody. No, pansexual. Because then you're like, I'm gonna anybody and everything. That's pretty creative. That's creative. By that logic, people who are, furries, bestiality, creative minds. It takes a creative mind to find sexual appeal in an animal, if you think about it. Bestiality, most creative sexual orientation. I understand that analyzing a game for its social impact on society is important, but that doesn't belong. That in a game review, that is a subnote. That is a footnote. Because the first thing you should be reviewing in a game review is the game. You should be focusing on gameplay, graphics, story. They just talk about all this freaking meta real societal impact. All right, you want to talk societal impact? I think Call of Duty is a 1 out of 10 because you kill people. I'm a pacifist. You shouldn't kill people in Call of Duty. I think Hogwarts Legacy is a 1 out of 10 because you have to kill spiders, and spiders are animals, and I'm a vegan. I think you shouldn't kill any animals, so it's a 1 out of 10 game. All of the dope spell combat, all of the creating a little farm for your beasts, all of the going out, learning new spells, exploring the massive open world, don't care about it in my review because I'm a vegan. All right? You know what this is like? Imagine if George Lucas made an anti-trans comment, right? And then people were like, I'm not going to play Star Wars Battlefront. Bro, what? Star Wars Battlefront's a good game, and I'm talking about the OG ones. The new ones are good, but I'm talking OG Star Wars Battlefront on the Xbox. Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the Xbox and PS2. I'm talking about those. You telling me that if George Lucas would have made some transphobic comments, you wouldn't have played those games? That's brain dead. I'm sorry. The wider societal impacts of an artist and their values, when those values are not represented in the art, is pointless. Everyone's like, people will be like, there's a trans character in Harry Potter. And then people are like, that doesn't solve the problem. It's a video game. It's not trying to solve the problem. It's a video game. You go in to escape from the bullshit. That's the point of gaming. The point of gaming is to get away, to escape. It's the point of movies. Same thing with Quentin Tarantino. People watch Quentin Tarantino movies and go, I don't want I don't want this in society. I don't want people thinking about, blood and gore and violence, and it's so extra gory. We don't need to show that. Like, that shouldn't be in our minds. It's a movie. It's fun to watch. It's escape. Obviously, we know it's a movie. When I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and I seen Brad Pitt smash a hippie's face onto a freaking fireplace, doesn't mean I'm gonna go smash a hippie's face on a fireplace. God, good Lord. When I play GTA and I go pick up a prostitute, get some head, and then proceed to mass murder a crowd of civilians, I'm not gonna do that. Good Lord. What the f***? Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't have any sort of media literacy when you're playing a video game and, look for certain themes that represent real-world values. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing that when you play a video game and that there's no place for it. I understand what this review is getting at, but that belongs in it's subnote separate or a full another article, but, it's not the game review. You're doing a society review. I'm playing the game to get away from society. I'm not killing goblins because I'm anti-Semitic. I'm killing goblins because they're goblins in a freaking fantasy world. It's insanity. That's that, though. Good Lord. So yeah, I guess this just goes to show that you shouldn't get your game reviews from Wired magazine. Instead, you should look to actual gaming magazines and websites such as Game Informer, IGN, or my personal favorite, Video Game Donkey. I'm also working on my own review of the game, so be on the lookout for that. And if you don't want to miss it, go ahead and hit that sub button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.